Welcome, friends, in person and via Zoom. Thank you for joining our third Lunch and Learn of the year. My name is Deanna Finch. I'm the Executive Director at United for Children. You can call me Dee. We have, for you who are in person here, we have all of that stuff in the back are all giveaways. So we have bags. You can fill your car up and take it home. We've done some cleaning, spring cleaning lately here. So feel free to go shopping after we wrap up. And those who are listening, let us know if you need anything, if you'd like to peruse our giveaway stash. Before we get started, I want to give you an update on where United for Children is today. Our vision is that every child will have the foundation to thrive regardless of race, zip code, or ability. What we currently do to build that foundation is empower childcare providers to continuously improve your quality of care by offering you free support, education, coaching, assessments, quality improvement plans, and a collaborative systematic method of connecting families, children, and providers to much needed resources. The question I get a lot is, why is this even a nonprofit service? A few staggering statistics that I think that our community need to understand about child outcomes, especially in low-income populations and in the state of Missouri, specifically in St. Louis, that the state of Missouri has the highest level of preschool suspensions in the nation, with St. Louis being the highest concentration in the state. In fact, children score 61% higher in social-emotional delays than the national average here in St. Louis. In Missouri, pre-K kids are 10 times more likely to be expelled than K-12 kids, which is over 2 times the national average. African-American pre-K kids are even more likely. 91% are African-American boys. And if kids show challenging behaviors or aggressive behaviors, there's a 50% higher chance of continuing challenges and higher chances of being suspended K through 12 and dropping out before graduation. And we know what graduation rates does to our communities. We know what high quality education does to our communities, for our communities. And so those are just a few statistics about child outcomes and the importance of high quality early childhood education that you all provide and that we want to continue uplifting in the St. Louis region especially. So we're happy that we're not alone in our vision. We know that you share these visions with us as well for our vulnerable St. Louis children and communities. And thank you for making children a priority by being here today. So our agenda today is based on feedback that we received last year and this year's Lunch and Learns. We created a series that dives more deeply into why United for Children does the work we do and why our most vulnerable children in our communities need more investments into early childhood learning. Today's panel of childcare providers that partner with United for Children will discuss their experiences working with children and families and what the organization's support has meant for their work. Our moderator is a friend and fierce advocate for ACE, Lisa Greening. Lisa Greening is currently the project director for Turn the Page STL. She has more than a decade of experience working with childhood education providers on literacy initiatives, and she consistently partners and advocates with United for Children. Our panelists is Patricia Jones of PJ's Childcare, Veronica Green of Casa de Niños Montessori Bilingual Academy. I believe I got that right.
Yes.
And Stephanie Collins of Provident Behavioral Health. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Dee, for wonderful, for your organization, United for Children, for being that support system here for our early childhood educators. As Dee said, I'm Lisa Greening. I started a chapter of the National Campaign for Grade Level Reading in St. Louis last year called Turn the Page STL, with the goal of looking at third grade reading proficiency scores, which are the highest predictor of high school graduation rates. And much like we're talking about preschool suspensions, our third grade reading proficiency rates in St. Louis are the lowest in the country, where only about 20% in our lowest performing districts of our third grade kids can pass the reading proficiency exam. So with that, we looked at what were the factors why children were not reading proficiently by third grade. And the number one factor There's several, but the number one is that our children aren't kindergarten ready. And that's a big definition, is kindergarten ready. But the groundwork is the social and emotional, right? The two words, the social and emotional piece that children can get in early, quality early childhood centers and after school programs that will set them up for success when they enter kindergarten. And that kindergarten readiness piece, actually, there's a statistic that the vocabulary actually that you have when you enter kindergarten is the best predictor of third grade reading proficiency scores. So it all starts at birth. And I just want to welcome the amazing experts that we have here on our panel. Dee just started, and we have two people here, Patricia Jones with PJ's Childcare and Veronica Green of Casa de Niños, who run early childcare programs and are going to be talking about their experience. And then Stephanie here's with Provident Behavioral Health and works with after-school programs, and it works with the children with their social emotional needs after school to ensure their academic success. So I'm going to start with some questions, and I will start with Patricia. What inspired you to become a child educator?
Well, what inspired me was my daughter couldn't find, reliable childcare. So she couldn't find dependable people, and she couldn't find well-respected people, and she just wanted her kids to be somewhere safe. So, that started me.
It's a crisis we have in the St. Louis area, in particular, finding that safe academic and it's a priority of the state of Missouri would make this our children a priority. We could change this. So Veronica, tell us a little bit. What inspired you to become an early childhood educator?
Well, I'm Mexican, so I actually had an educational background. But I chose education because I always wanted to do something for our future. I knew, early that this was the foundation for a good future, and I wanted to have a part of it. But being here in San Luis, I wanted my children to be bilingual, and so I wanted to be with them. And the way to start was like, okay, I opened it up, and children started coming, and that was it.
Stephanie, tell us a little bit about you and your work.
So I am the program manager of youth programs with Provident for our after-school programs, essentially. Really, me getting into this work found me, to be honest. I've always had a passion working with children. I just wasn't sure of the capacity. And so I actually did start one of my majors in becoming an early childhood educator. But in the field, I was like, I can't see myself doing this for 30 years. But found my way back into working with kids. And so, the work that we do, like you said, our niche is focusing on the social and emotional health of our kids and supporting their academics. And so that's really what we do in our programs, and just providing those enrichment opportunities to support and encourage their social and emotional growth.
So that saddens me. Not that you're not in a wonderful organization, and not that you're doing great work, but we do have, I hear this over and over and over again, phenomenal upcoming students that are learning in the early education field and want to become teachers in the early education field. And can anybody explain why? And maybe you can, what are the barriers? Why are our 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds who are studying, what happens that makes a majority of them, we know here in St. Louis, not to continue with that degree?
Well, a lot of it has to do with parenting, their parents, and then I guess the communication. Some of them are the schools. Some of them are the schools and teachers now. Teachers are not, helping the kids as much as they should. resources aren't there in the neighborhoods.
Yeah, I mean, Patricia, talk a little bit about your perception of the landscape of early childhood here in your community.
In my community, we don't, I mean, there's not much, many childcare providers. You know, there are not many home providers. But
Tell us your geographic area that you're.
I'm in Normandy. I'm closer to Normandy High School, and there's not many home providers. And then a lot of us don't know the home providers are there. So it's lack of knowledge. And then, you know, how do we get the word out there? Hey, we're here for you. So, and a lot of us don't have the resources, you know, to pay for the ads and brochures to get the word out. So it's just word of mouth for us.
It's difficult. Are you, both of you at full capacity now? As we're going to start talking about COVID a little bit.
Well, yeah, I am. I'm only allowed 6.
Got it.
I'm only allowed 6. So yeah, no.
You have a waiting list, I'm sure.
Yes, only allowed 6.
Do you have aspire to grow your childcare center?
Yes, I do.
What do you think the barriers are?
I don't know. I mean, because for now, I'm trying to. I mean, if St. Louis County opened up at first, before I think a year or two, I was allowed 12.
Oh,
And you know the rules are, yeah, they change, and it just depends on the area you live in. Now I'm only allowed 6.
do any of you know if those restrictions are going to slowly go away or?
I know in our programs, our programs are licensed, and even or not capacities, but our ratios for 116 were 1 to 9 as well.
Yeah, and I think if today's July 22nd, 2021, we're listening to our St. Louis County Executive talk about the variant and potentially starting to close down St. Louis County again. I don't have a crystal ball, but it's not over. We know that it's not over. So what has the state done to help you and early childhood providers? So you go from, how many students you had? I said 16? Or Patricia?
I have 6.
12 to 6.
Yes.
All right, now you have 6 children paying tuition, right? You used to have 12 in the same space. How do you make ends meet? Does the state provide additional support?
No. Much of my support comes from
What does United for Children do?
Well, they give you, donations. They give you the diaper drive. They give you the incentives. You can call them. I mean, I worked with Miss Gail before the center closed, and I was like, hey, I'm on the beach, and she's like, well, I found this beach, can you, so they provide a lot, even if you just need someone to call. It's a blessing.
I know that United for Children has, and you can jump in here too. I know United for Children has a strong system in the Normandy footprint. I don't know if you want to say a little bit about that, Dee.
Yeah, so our services in Normandy are specifically a program called Programs Achieving Quality. And we've been operating there for about 11, maybe 12 years now. And essentially, that's the program that we went to, that style of program went to expand outside of Normandy to other areas of the St. Louis region specifically, because it is, we meet every child care provider where they are. What goals do you want to achieve? How can we help you achieve them? Do you want to be licensed? We will help you achieve license. Do you want to be accredited? We will help you become accredited. We have a CDA program in Normandy, so child care providers, teachers can, if they're CDAs, child development associates, for continuing education, and that allows them to be more experts in the classroom and to be more of a support to the directors as well. And we partner with